Like it was routine, we watched this 15-year-old walk down the block onto his porch and settle in for the night. And last Saturday, the same thing. From under a lump of blankets, wrapped in a coat, the 15-year-old boy pops up, sleeping on the porch at his Westside Detroit home. With the wind chill, it felt like 15 out.
It's your girl Nick, and we're gonna just jump right on into it. So today's story is going to be about a reverend outside of Metropolitan Baptist Church and his wife, who is a teacher, being called out for allowing and or forcing their teen boys to sleep outside in freezing temperatures. Now, this couple is out of Detroit, and the temperatures right now are very, very cold, and some of their neighbors realized that their teen boys are sleeping outside where the front porch is basically set up like a bedroom. There's no closed door, there's no insulation, there's no heat, there's just the outside chill and some blankets. One of the community activists in the neighborhood got wind of this story and decided to go up to the teen boys and try to offer some help.
The child himself told me that he'd been out there since July.
12 and 14-year-old brothers. The older one told local podcast host Mark DeAndre last Saturday that he's been sleeping on the porch for 5 months, and sometimes his brother does too, while their parents live inside.
Now, before I show you the video that is going viral where the community activists basically approached the little boys and tried to get them out of that situation, I have to get back in the groove of shouting out my website. Now, y'all know, or some of y'all don't know, I have a website, www.niquelaclaire.com. I have all sorts of goodies on there. This is my accessories tab, and I have an amazing sale going on. With that being said, let's get back to this story. It's time to jump on in and get down to the nitty-gritty. A lot of people found out who the parents are and have been going in on them on their social media. Now, let's just go through some of the reactions to this story, and then I'll show you the video that kicked everything off and set a whole whirlwind in motion. So, under one of the photos on the mom's social media account, people start sharing her picture like crazy and ripping the pastor and the mother to shreds. All right, so let's start at the top. The first lady of a church in Detroit who is making her kids sleep outside in these freezing temps, along with her trifling husband who is a pastor in Detroit. The next comment says, "This trick, who is a school teacher, and her sorry and excuse a husband who is a pastor, has their 2 sons sleeping on their porch since July as discipline in Detroit. It is freezing cold and snowing in the Midwest. These MFers done lost they damn minds. She a real example of a weak A woman. I could never. Their friends claim they bad kids. Oh well, give them to the system. There's definitely other ways to discipline bad A kids, and this ain't it, baby." This is the woman who, alongside her husband, made their kids sleep outside in freezing cold. So apparently, they've been forced to sleep out there since August. And how is the law or DCF not involved? Please share so everyone is aware these kids need help, but is too afraid to say. #share. #this is sick. Okay, and the outrage went on and on and on and on. But before I show you any more of the outrage from the community, let me show you guys the video that went viral and got the news to step in and try to figure out how they could help in the suffering of these teens who are in these freezing temperatures. And in the original video, you can see the boy, but I myself personally, because he asked so many times not to be seen on camera, he didn't want himself recorded, I made sure that I blurred out his face and all of that. So let's watch.
I don't know exactly how old they are. I'm looking at them on the front porch of their parents' house right now. From what was told to me, their parents would not allow them to come in the house because they're possessed with the outside world. CPS has been called, the police have been called, and nothing has been done. And these kids right now are outside on the porch under a blanket, and I'm looking at them right now. Well, I don't even know why I don't even know why I'm nervous right now. But this is, come on, y'all. I'm taking y'all with me. Hey, y'all. Hey. Yeah. What's up, man? Y'all all right, man?
Oh, yeah.
You sure, man?
You good.
Man, you want to go get something to eat or something, man? Like this shit, like people been calling me. I know you all know who I am, man. I'm a big social media journalist, man. And yeah, man, I want to help y'all, man.
You recorded?
Huh? I'm on live stream, yeah, because it's a lot of people trying to help y'all, bro. You sure? You say who? No, your face ain't on there. No, I'm on the ground. Man, you sure, bro? Man, people telling me what's going on over here, man. I don't, you want me to cut it off and talk, man, or what? Your face ain't gonna be on there, bro. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, man. I'm doing this to help you, bro. Like no bullshit. Like real talk. Like I cut this shit off, bro, and like take y'all to a room somewhere and feed. I know y'all know who I am, and I ain't on no bullshit, bro. But like that's the reason why like people been hitting me up all day about y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, I ain't on no bullshit, bro. And people, I know people on the block been trying to help y'all, and they said y'all scared to go in the house and shit. I swear to God, I ain't on no bullshit, bro. I swear to God. You sure you good, bro? I don't feel right leaving y'all out here, man. Man, you want me to cut? Look, man, I'm about to cut this shit off, bro.
Okay, so as you see that video was posted by a guy by the name of Mark D. Andre, and I believe he has like a podcast, and he kind of like tries to bring awareness to this there injustices that's going on in Detroit. He got wind of that situation and tried to step in and help. Now, after he decided to step in and try to make contact with the boys, and the boys basically denied his help, he posted that on social media. A lot of people immediately were outraged, and they had a couple of choice words for the parents. But not only did they have choice words for the parents, they also reached out to the news station. So they reached out to Channel 2 News, and Channel 2 News decided to go out and canvass the area and try to talk to some of the neighbors to get a better understanding as to what was going on and get down to the bottom of it.
Neighbors we talked to corroborated.
In July, it was 80, 90 degrees. Now it's 20 degrees. You know what I'm saying?
They be out there at nighttime. Like the other night, I seen them walk up and go on the porch. Like, that's it.
The neighbors and Mark offered the kids food, money, and shelter. They wouldn't take it.
I don't know if they like brainwashed at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because who want to be sleeping on the porch?
We have been trying to get answers all day and night out here from the kids' parents.
Oh yeah, shoes, blankets, toothbrush. This is the craziest thing I've seen.
It's set up like an actual bedroom on the porch.
Oh look, at least they got those. That's nice.
No one ever answered the door Monday.
So as you see that, Channel 2 News tried to get to the bottom of it and tried to talk to somebody that was in charge, somebody that they can get a better understanding from, and they was unsuccessful the first attempt. Now, they also decided to contact authorities. A lot of the people in Detroit decided to contact Child Protective Services, and they were basically keeping their foot on the police neck. One Facebook user commented and said, so this guy, Pastor K. Jones, is said to have had his 12 and 15-year-old sons sleeping outside on the porch for the last 2 nights because he states that they are products of the world. The police said there's no crime being committed. I'm just trying to figure out how I have 70 friends in common with this person. Go listen to Mark's last few podcast posts. This is sad. So then people started to dig and find out where his church was and where he was a pastor from, and they were putting him on blast altogether. The church of the pastor that makes his children sleep on the porch at night in freezing weather. K. Jones is the pastor. Check my page for video proof. Church of the open doors, but yet you close doors on your kids. Okay, and if you see the Facebook information for the church, it says that they are the Church of Open Doors in their description, which is ironic, being that the kids are sleeping outside the door. Okay.
We did some digging. The house is registered to a local pastor at a Baptist church less than a mile from the house off Leslie Street near Dexter. He's allegedly their dad. Detroit police have been called to the home multiple times, even Saturday when Mark got involved.
I called the police, and the police pulled up real quick, and they told me that there was pretty much nothing that they could do because nothing illegal was going on there.
DPD made meeting with the kids' parents priority, sending officers to the home Monday night where they met with the family for hours. In a statement, they said any evidence of negligence on the part of the parents will be thoroughly investigated and, if appropriate, referred to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Neighbors and Mark have been told sleeping outside is some kind of punishment for the kids.
We don't want to wait till these kids freeze to death to do something.
All right, so as you've seen that, the Channel 2 News went out there, advocates went out there, social media was outraged, and so far, the police have not really done much to the parents. So people started to find out, like I said, which church this guy was a pastor of, and this woman decided to leave a review on their Facebook page. So under their, like, where you can rate the business or whatever, they rated the church. And this is what they wrote on there. It says, to force your children to live and sleep on your front porch is sick. How could any Christian support this church and their ministry when the pastor K. Jones and the wife L. Jones are abusing their children and have gotten away with it since this past June/July? Both parents need to be arrested and charged with neglect. The companies that they work for need to be informed of the abuse they are inflicting upon their children. Now that their story has gone viral, I have no doubt that the social media family will step in and help ensure that the world knows about the abuse. Don't bother attending this church. What these two people are doing / have done to their children is not of God. Now, people started to share the church and give their opinions. And lo and behold, I went to the recent videos under the church page, and the dad of these boys had a recent church sermon in the midst of all of this. So if you go to their social media account, they have a Facebook page, and this is where, like I said, the lady had left her review. And on the Facebook account, the father does his sermons and he does his preaching, which really it's just a bunch of yelling. He just yelling and saying a whole bunch of nothing. And these people are just listening and passing the collection plate is what it seems like. So anyway, so in the midst of all this, while all of this is going on social media, the father is preaching like ain't nothing going on, and he still has people supporting him in his church and of the congregation. So the advocate that basically made contact with the boys visited them on the night of November 30th going into December 1st. So on December 1st, the first post that day after people started having outrage about these parents and sharing a lot of the backlash for them, the father basically tries to subliminally say that, you know, he has a college student. This post, it says, the Bible, Word of God says, Hebrew 13:8, that Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever. Well, look how on December 1st, 2019, Pastor Jones was visiting Metropolitan to serve communion, and his oldest son, Blank, had just finished singing the Lord's Prayer, just like he did to the glory of God today, before he heads back to the University of for his freshman year finals. Church family outside of Deacon Alpis Black, who else is in the picture serving? So he was basically trying to send a message, talking in third person, and trying to let all the people who are telling them that they're horrible parents for having their children sleep on the porch, trying to give himself a nod to let us know that he got a college student out of it and that he gonna be heading to college. And throughout all of the backlash, his son was still out there serving the Lord, okay, on his behalf. All right, so now that we got through that BS third party nod on the back, let's get into his sermon that he preached that day. And it was, like I said, a whole bunch of nothing. He screams and says absolutely nothing of importance. But I just want y'all to see or get a glimpse into what type of pastor he is.
But somebody in here knows that he took running in my feet, clapping in my hands, and he has given me a mouth to give him the glory, give him the honor, and give
You know, it just came over me. I'm sorry I had to pause the sermon. I'm going to play some more, but the word just touched me and it made me remember that y'all need to head on over to my website, okay? I have a huge sale going on. And, you know, normally I would tell y'all about the secular side of my website, the adult side of my website. But you know what? I said, let me go to the more innocent side of my website. Yeah, check me out and get some items before they all sell out.
Clark sisters used to have a song. I'm looking for a miracle. I'm expecting the impossible. When I come into the house of the Lord, I don't do like I used to do. I used to come to the house of the Lord with my homies. We would go in the balcony, and we couldn't wait till after the benediction was done. Because we were all nice-looking fellas. We had on our best shoes, our best clothes, and we were there to get some numbers. But oh, a wonderful change came over my life. And I found out the greatest thing. And I got one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God who is through us all, one God who is in us all. Saints of God, I found you got two ways. One way right and one way wrong. But there's 12 gates to the city. 4 in the east, 4 in the west, 4 in the south, and 4 in the north. And one day, I'm going to be able to get down on my knees and put on my robe and tell the story of how I got over. Because God threw down for me. He saved me. He picked me up and he turned me around.
I just wanted y'all to see the tomfoolery that these people be listening to in these church houses while they emptying their wallets, child. And I'm trying to figure out why there are people still supporting. But you know what I realized? A lot of these churches doubles as, and I'm not saying that his church is a cult, but a lot of these churches have cult-like members who see complete bull crap happening, and they acknowledge that, or they can see what's going on, but they adopt such ridiculous ideology in the name of serving the Lord that they overlook mistreatment of the young folk because they feel like, what are they, sparing the rod? What that saying goes, spare the rod, something the child or whatever. But it's just a mess how, he got his kids sleeping outside and the church folk is there front and center serving the Lord, listening to him give a sermon. And it just reminded me of a lot of cult stuff that I be seeing. And when I was going through the comments of the live video where the boys were shown sleeping on the porch, there was a particular user who kept spamming and spamming and spamming the comment section. There was somebody by the name of Betty who I'm not sure if it was the pastor himself basically windmilling under a fake account, or if it was one of the female members lusting over the pastor, making sure that they get the correct messaging out, okay? So as there was so many people going through Mark's comments and saying, call the news, call CPS, call the police, almost every other comment, there was this Betty person commenting and pasting in the narrative that they wanted everybody to know. Now, again, I'm not sure if this person, Betty, is the pastor himself, one of his bottom B. I mean, not saying he got a bottom B, but one of his members or whomever it is. But Betty wanted us to know a particular thing. So let's read the post that Betty kept spamming and let's bring you guys all up to speed, because y'all know when I do these stories, we talk about everything, okay? And we're going to get into this. So here is their side, Betty's side. Whoever's side wants us to know this, but it kept getting spammed and, all of the things. So this person, George, posted and tagged people, and this is what it says. As we diligently work towards a solution for the young men who've been sleeping outside, I feel the need to provide some intel to the community. I've worked with the older of the two young men for over 1.5 years. The family has reached out to everyone they could to provide assistance for him. The younger brother isn't in question. He simply decided to follow his older brother, not to put his or their business fully out, but the older has some things going on and he refuses to accept assistance. Okay, so I was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. The younger brother isn't in question. He simply decided to follow his older brother, not to put his or their business fully out, but the older, okay, so there's a 12-year-old sleeping outside and a 15-year-old sleeping outside. So when they say the older, I'm guessing they don't mean the oldest. Not to put his or their business fully out, but the older has some things going on and he refuses to accept assistance or follow simple directions. So I guess because the older, and I'm guessing that's the 15-year-old, doesn't follow instructions, they would allow their younger to be outside in freezing temperatures as well, where they both could get kidnapped or something tragic could happen. Child, it seemed like it got to be another way. But Betty wants us to hear this narrative and this side of the story, so let's continue. It says, as an honor roll student and 4.0 each quarter last year, he still needed and refused the counseling offered and suggested to him. Now, what we can do is attempt to provide some mental health resources and services to a very disturbed young person who needs us much more than his parents need to be villainized or fought. I must say, it's sad as HE double hockey sticks to even think of children sleeping in these conditions. But manipulation is very real, especially for a borderline genius teenager. Let's pull our energy together to assist this family. So I guess they mean by pulling in energy together is let's let these boys continue to freeze. I mean, maybe that's not what he's saying. I don't know. Let me read it again. Let's pull our energy together to assist this family. What that mean? Is he saying, anyway, let me finish reading. See, for what I am fully aware of, these posts would be totally different if any of us were the father. Again, no, they shouldn't be outside, but until we know exactly what's going on, I thought you knew what was going on. You was telling us the business. So you don't know what's going on neither? So we just supposed to be quiet and let the boys be outside? And okay, and because he got some mental challenges. What? Hold on, let me read this again. Wait, what'd he say? Let me go back to that part. Let's pull our energy together to assist this family. See for what I am fully aware of, these posts would be totally different if any of us were the father. Again, no, they shouldn't be outside, but until we know exactly what's going on, let's try to help. Think of it like this. No teenage member of my family or basketball team have I been at my wit's end with. He's the one. What? He the one? Okay. He's the one. We need all of us for this one. Again, this young man was brought to me to assist with his overall development because the father wants, needs, and acknowledges the issues. Now, do we help the family or continue to tear it apart? Hashtag back to the basics. Okay, so I guess Betty wanted us to know that, the older has some mental challenges. So therefore, I mean, what are they saying? Like, let's sit back and just wait and let the boys be outside or what? Now, Betty was on a roll, and I flashed some of Betty's responses on the screen, but let me read them aloud for the people who aren't watching the screen. So somebody said, CPS has failed those babies. Another person chimed in and says, yes, they have. And Betty responded and said, you got it wrong. They responded back to Betty and said, she got it right. And then Betty says, you and her got it wrong, and then posted the message that I just read to y'all from George. So another person commented on the thread and said, what they need, I got some clothes for them. My son said he will give some of his clothes, and we got a jacket for them. I got food for them. Let me know. And then Betty said, they don't need clothes. He suffers from mental illness. Everyone has tried to get him to come in, and he won't. And then somebody responded to Betty and said, those are babies. What the heck? And then the person who offered his son clothes said, oh man, but even the mental illness needs clothes and resources and help. I wish they would get them some help. It's something that can be done. I'm praying for them. Okay, and then another person says, them boys are scared. That's why they didn't want to be on cam because of what would have happened. Shaking my head, this is effed up. And Betty said, they are not scared. Mental illness is real. The man that shot this video is wrong. They are not being forced to stay outside. No one can make him come in. So somebody responded to Betty and said, how do you know this? Do you live there? And another person with common sense said, and it's up to the parents to get him help or for whatever mental illness he suffers from. If they believe he needs help, they can petition the courts to have them committed so they can be evaluated. Like, Betty, what are you talking about? He won't come in, so we just let him be out there? Like, what? Like, there ain't some type of facility if it's that extreme of the challenge? There is no time. I mean, what? I mean, this is crazy. But anyways, child, I had to take a break from Betty real quick and remind you guys that I do have other items other than the adult goodies on my website. Here's a few earrings that are available on my website, so definitely check it out, www.niquelatnight.com. So while I'm over here like thinking that Betty was a fake page and possibly maybe even the pastor speaking on his behalf under a pseudo account, I said, you know what? Let me click on Betty's page to see what it's given. And so I went through Betty's pictures and I was able to see that it was actually her page. Okay, it was Betty's page. You know, I stayed combing through the comments under the viral posts just to see what information would unveil itself in the comments, because a lot of times when these stories go viral, the meat and potatoes be in the comments. So she confirmed that she is a family member. So I was thinking, you know, this is a fake account, whoop, 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 or this is him talking. But it was a family member who was windmilling on his behalf, and his meaning the pastor's behalf. So this person right here said, and they were telling the guy Mark who had went live, because before he approached the boys, he was basically saying like, oh, I'm nervous, I don't know why I'm nervous, whatever. And this was before he like walked up on the boys. The person commenting, they said, you nervous because it's kids involved. I don't know what this world is coming to when kids are being so mistreated. How in the HE double hockey sticks, CPS and 911 been to this home and they still at the house? A person commented and said, yes, that right, agree with you. Call 911 and police and CPS. Another person says, because they don't give a F. My daughter says she was being right, and then another person, they responded and they was giving personal information about their own situation, saying that the police didn't do nothing in their particular sensitive situation. I'm gonna redact that because it's a little bit much. And then Betty replied and she said, all y'all need to stop until you know the whole story. Yes, the police and CPS came out and checked on them. The parents are not making them stay on the porch. They are doing that on their own free will. Now you ends, ooh, Betty, not you using the N-word. Now you ends are making something that it's not. He suffers from mental illness and no one can make them come in the house. Sometimes you need to find out the facts before you go blaming the parent. Everyone is on here talking sugar, honey, iced tea. Okay, sugar, honey, iced tea. And none of you will take a homeless children. Okay, she said y'all over there bumping y'all gums like y'all concerned, but y'all ain't really up to taking in no children. No homeless children. Okay, she said, child, save it. So then she says, but all you do is talk. Yes, I'm a family member, and I know you and everyone else got this situation wrong. Okay, so Betty was standing on her ones and twos and letting people know I am a family member, if you must know. Okay, because all of the other ones that I was reading, she wasn't saying that she was a family member. She was just keep posting and posting and posting that narrative that the guy George had wrote, for the most part, she would go back and forth with a couple of people, but she would just be posting that screenshot. So I had to really dig through the comments to find one where she actually revealed that she was a family member. Okay, and she said, I am a family member, okay? And y'all don't know what y'all talking about. That boy is mental, and he want to sleep on the porch, and the other one want to sleep on the porch. Now, she's saying the other one ain't mental, but he just want to sleep on the porch too. And I'm just like, I mean, I hear you. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I hear what you're typing, but it's not clicking. Okay? It's not, what they say, clock that T? The T is yet to be clocked because it's still not correlating to me. You cannot make me think that a 12-year-old, now I'm not going to say that the 12-year-old could not be concerned or love his brother or want to be there with him through whatever. But you mean to tell me he and the brother, they both, like the 12-year-old. Now, again, I'm not going to deny a brother's love, but their shoes, clothes, and personal items are outside. It's snowing outside. It was when the news lady had walked up on the porch, their shoes were lined up. If it is mist and frost and the snow on the ground, you mean to tell me the 12-year-old said, you know what? I love my brother so much. And again, I'm not denying a brother's love, but I am going to go through all this, put these shoes. You know what it got to feel like to put them shoes on your feet? After they done been outside, rain, sleet, snow, and then carry on about your day. Did you see that toothbrush that they had posted? But you want me to believe that one child got a challenge and the other one says, you know what? Child, again, I know that brothers love each other and all of that, but I'm not picking up what you putting down. And it's not clocking for me. You could be telling the truth. Or you could be full of baloney. I don't know. Because guess what? I'm not in that household and I don't know these boys. But it just ain't making sense to me. Okay. Now, I am an only child, so I will give that caveat. I do not have any biological brothers or sisters. So maybe I don't know what dying love of a sibling, you know, how far you willing to go with it. But I am a mother of an 11-year-old. And I just can't see it. I just can't see it. I don't know. But let's continue and let's go on. So let's see some more of their church sermon. So one of the ladies of the church wanted to offer a prayer. Now, I chopped up her prayer because, baby, it was given. I couldn't listen to the whole thing. And not that I couldn't listen to the whole thing because I listened to the whole thing, but I just didn't feel like y'all wanted to listen to the whole thing. So I chopped it up. So let's hear her give a prayer for the pastor that was delivered for their church. And then, you know, they asking for donations or whatever or whatnot. And then I'll come back to talk about some more stuff.
Father, we ask right now, come into the midst. You said where 2 or 3 are gathered, Father, there you would be. Come into our midst, Father. Uphold our pastor, his wife, their children, their family. Uphold them and meet every need in their lives. He serves many, Father. Yes, you called him to minister, Father. That's your servant. But you also called him to be blessed and to be a blessing. So, Father, as he is blessing others, let us bless him. As he is lifting up your name, let us follow after him. Let us strengthen him, Father. Let us hold his arms up when he becomes weak, Father, because he is the one that you sent. He is the one that you called for Metropolitan Baptist Church, Father. So let us go forth rejoicing with him, Father, rejoicing in your name, Lord.
With your generous donations of $25 each or more, we can achieve this goal. Please have your donations in by today, Sunday, December 1st. That concludes our announcements today. Everyone have a wonderful Sunday and a blessed week, and stay warm. And stay warm. And stay warm.
Amen. Amen. Saints of God, I tell you.
All right, so what I just showed you was a clip of their sermon that they did the very next day after they started to go viral and after people started to hear about things. Now, since I've been editing this story, I've been working on this story for a full, complete week. I literally was working on this video, doing further research, and I was like, oh, wait, it's Sunday. They go live from church every Sunday. It's a week since everything has been going viral. I said, oop, let me go to the page and see what they talking about. Let me see if I could catch them live doing their sermon. And lo and behold, I was able to catch them while they were live preaching and serving the Lord, passing the collection plate around and standing in solidarity of their pastor, child. They even had a guest speaker giving a speech on behalf of the pastor and talking a whole bunch about prayer. And I guess the message is pray it away, okay? Just pray. You know, sleeping outside, pray. I mean, you can pray, but like you're praying and he's been on the porch since the summer. So what has the prayer done? I mean, I guess the prayer has led us, the social media community, to having eyes on it. And I guess, I mean, what are we saying here? Now, I'm going to give y'all a couple of snippets from the sermon and show y'all what they talking about. Now, the pastor, he's not directly speaking on the situation, but they throw a whole lot of subliminals about the enemy is coming against them, and it was a whole bunch of them against the enemy conversations. So, child, I said, baby, save it. Child, I am a fool. Not me Googling a black clown emoji. Anyways, so visit my website, www.niquelaclaire.com. I do have a sale going on over there. And let's get into some of this sermon that they did. And while I was looking at all of the comments and checking to see who was live chatting, Betty was there front row and center, honey. She was commenting and replying to anybody who had something to say. Okay, Betty was not playing no games because she had to windmill for her family. And what I realized is, okay, because, you know, I got down in the nitty gritty, okay, and I had to say my little 1-2-1-2 up in there too. But while I was doing it, I was screen recording. So Betty was in there windmilling. People was basically like, y'all need to be ashamed of yourselves. The pastor need to go to jail. And Betty was telling them they need to pray. Okay, she was feeling the spirit of the speakers and the sermon. And then she was like going back and forth with people in the comments or whatever like that. So, you know, they got to the point to where they was passing the collection plate around, and they even had the kids passing the collection plate around. It was just a crazy sermon to me. I was just watching. And so, you know, I said, the spirit just moved me to type a couple of things. You know, I just typed a couple of things. And so while I was screen recording, I realized that the comments, like, it start Like, it wouldn't show no more current comments. Child, once that sermon wrapped, they blocked me and anybody else who has something to say, child. And I was wondering why there was no comments against the pastor on their page, because so many people had shared the church and the page of the pastor. And child, they are blocking. Child, they blocked me smooth about that page. But you ain't messing with no rookie, girl. I was screen recording as soon as I hit the page. Okay, I screen recorded. So, girl, block me. I have another page, girl, and still gonna continue doing my research. What you thought? You thought you gonna block me and what? Child, they blocked me so fast, but honey, all we did was come up out of that page and go into another page. So anyways, let me give y'all some of their message that they were delivering, okay?
Ministry is about meeting people at their needs. And we ask that you get your best gift out right now, saints of God. Give and it shall be given back to you. It's because of your faithfulness and your sacrifice. So you can give electronically. We have heard the Cash App and the Givelify, or you can give hard money, saints of God. But the ushers are going to come at this time. Give, and it shall be given back to you.
At this point in the sermon, I was cutting up in the chat. I was telling them, pass the money, okay? Pass the money, honey. You know, they was passing that collection plate. I showed y'all a little snippet. They had the kids up there bringing the money, the collection plates around, and like all of the people, well, not all of the people, but like some of the congregation was coming up, grabbing the money, getting the money and all of that. And I'm just like, okay, so in me doing my research, I've been researching this for literally a week, like I told y'all. I like skimmed through a couple of their sermons and I didn't see kids all throughout it like it was today. I'm like, okay, they subliminally like giving certain type of messages throughout this whole sermon. Like, for one, having the kids front and center. For two, when they were praying, they had the women up there in solidarity, hand in hand, chain bound together. I know y'all be protecting y'all king, honey. Them church women be protecting they kings, okay? The kings be dead wrong, but the women, they be there locked and loaded and ready to swing. You see, like I told y'all, Betty was in the chat. Now, I didn't continuously show the chat because in order for me to edit out people's name, blur out the name as it goes by, it's just too much work. And I don't want to I don't feel like doing all of that. So instead of me showing y'all the live chat rolling and going as it goes by and Betty going into it with people and all of that, what I did was I just took screenshots from the video so that it's easier for me to just redact. It'll take me forever trying to blur the names as they scroll and all of that. But like I said, Betty was in the chat. She was cutting up. She was going in on people who was going in on the pastor. It was going down. And as soon as, like I said, the sermon wrapped, they got us up out of there. They booted us up out them comments so fast and blocked us so quick. Okay. They blocked us up out of there so quick. But let me show y'all another piece of this sermon and then I'll talk to y'all some more.
I thank God for the troubles I've been through in life, because if I never had a problem, I wouldn't know that God can solve. And I wouldn't know what faith in God could do. But I wonder, do I have any do-it-all witnesses here? And say, do it all, I learned to trust in Jesus. Do it all, I learned to depend on God. And we thank God for each and every one of you in the house of the Lord today. Because this is the day that the Lord has made. Yes. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Saints of God, on Thanksgiving Eve, our preacher today, in the person of the Reverend Vincent Williams, was supposed to be our speaker on that night. But God told me to shift some things Therefore, I want you to know that he's here today, and he has been scheduled to be here today for the last 2 to 3 weeks. He's not here by accident nor happenstance, but he is here by divine providence, because he has come with a relevant and rhema word to meet us in our particular situation.
So, in so many words, what he's saying is, I'm not going to tell y'all or defend myself against this situation, but I'm going to have a speaker who we already planned to have him weeks before this whole commotion or whatever. I'm going to have him kind of basically speak on my behalf and defend me in prayer or in his sermon. But I just want y'all to know that, this wasn't pre-planned. He just happened to have a relevant sermon to the particular situation at hand or whatever like that. But I just want y'all to know that was supposed to speak on Thanksgiving, but it just so happened that now that after I've gone viral and everybody's criticizing me, I'm just gonna have him speak and just say, pray for me, okay? Pray for everybody. That's kind of what I feel like he was basically saying in a nutshell. The next speaker is his guest speaker, and he spoke for most of the sermon. And his sermon, in a nutshell, in summary, was just basically pray. Okay, you got problems in your life, pray. You get you got a good situation going, pray. You get a promotion, pray. You get married, pray. Every day, pray. And then after he tell people to pray, then he start to give subliminals pertaining to this situation. So I'm gonna just fast forward to that part of it, and then I'll talk to y'all after that. But
people went to work praying about Peter. People drove all throughout the day praying for Peter. Boats got on their nerve, but they were still praying for Peter. Can I tell you, you got to pray about everything. You got to pray for everybody. Can I tell you, you can't pick and choose who you gonna pray for. You got to pray for everybody. I know that person that you look that's insignificant on your block. Yes, that person, pray for them. I know the person in your family get on your everlasting nerve. Pray for them. I want to tell you, sometimes those kids get on your nerves. You want to figure out, try to find out what household did you come out of. Pray for them too. Pray for their sanity. Pray for their decision making. Pray that they listen to God. Pray they have a mindset of God. And guess what? Pray for yourself. I need in this day and age, the church to understand, we need to P-R-A-Y and not P-R-E-Y. Sleep. When you pray good prayers, you can go to sleep at night. You don't have to worry how it's going to turn out. I already gave it to the Lord. I don't know how it's going to be, but it's in the Lord's hand. And since it's in His Lord's hand, I know it's going to work out in my favor. Why don't you tell somebody it's going to work out in your favor? Look. The Bible says the devil does nothing but to steal, kill, and destroy. Yeah. But he said, but I've come that you may have life and have more abundantly. Yes. Amen. So, listen, I'm getting ready to get to my close. It says, pray, trust in God. Yes. Can I tell somebody at the end of the day to give it to God and take your hands off of it? Yes. Give it to God and stop worrying about it. Give it to God and stop picking it up. We got a peculiar problem that we give it to God and then we feel God ain't working to our time frame and we try to pick it up and we try to help God out. Can I tell you, if you're going to give it to God, let God work it out in His own time. You know what? You think you're right. I think I'm right. Let's pray about it. I promise if you get that to somebody gonna shut up. Next time somebody want to ridicule you, tell them and say, come on, let's pray about it. Let's call on Jesus. They either going to leave you alone or they're going to say, yes, come on, let's talk to the Lord about it. Can I tell you, you don't have to fight fire with fire, but you have to fight fire with prayer. Let's go on. The doors of the church are open. Jesus got up with all power in His hands. Because God does not want us to worry about anything, but instead through prayer and supplication, He wants us to let our requests be made known unto Him. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, shall keep your heart and mind in perfect peace.
Child, let me cut that off, okay? Because it was a mess. And the guy who was the guest speaker, he was talking for a very long time, but I cut his prayer or his sermon down significantly. Every other word was pray. Oh, this pray, that pray, this pray, that pray. He just inserted pray into a whole bunch of stuff. And as you seen, there was people in the comments like, child, y'all talk about pray for this, pray for that, pray for them kids up off that porch. And like I said, they booted us up out of there and they deleted all of our comments up off of there. So you see that I got the screenshots of it, but child, you go to their page, you gonna see that sermon, but you ain't gonna see them comments. I tell you that. In a nutshell, my opinion, I feel like this is a sad situation because oftentimes what I see in these churches is they mask a lot of stuff and wrongdoings with, they do it in the sake of like, oh, I'm doing this, for the sake of serving the Lord. And I feel like a lot of people, they will use their Bible to mask really degenerate behavior. And it's so sad that so many people will go along with it. You see all the people in the congregation, they are standing in solidarity. There was so many people like making sure that they showed their support. And it's just really disgusting if you think about it, because if you really think for 1 second that there is no other alternative for somebody with mental challenges other than to just let them sleep on the porch, I got another thing coming for you. Okay, period. I'm not picking up what they're putting down. I'm not buying it. Now, I hear what they say. I hear their defense to it, but I'm just not buying it. I'm a mother of a 11-year-old girl, and obviously it's not a little boy or whatever, my daughter doesn't have siblings. I'm an only child. I didn't have siblings. So I can't speak to like the love of a sibling, but I'm just not buying the whole, the boy wants to sleep outside and then the other one who is supposedly not mentally affected, he just so happened to just want to sleep outside with him. And then I'm just not buying it, but that's their story. They sticking to it, and it is what it is. I want to know what you guys think about it. One thing I will share with y'all is while I was watching this, I told my mom, because like I told you, I've been working on this story for a long time. So I be telling my mom about certain stories that I'm working on. I be sending her the links, the details and all that. And so I was like, I called my mama. I said, Mama, he live. The guy who got the kids sleeping on the porch. My mama was like, cut it off. She was like, do not let that penetrate in your spirit. Do not listen to it. Rebuke it and close the tab. She said, I refuse. I am not about to listen to that tomfoolery. And my mom is a person who is like, she's definitely more religious than me. My mom, she goes to church and stuff like that. But she was just like, don't listen to it. Do not let that go into your spirit. Do not even listen. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just doing it for research purposes or whatever. And I'm just trying to see what they gonna say. And it was a whole bunch of nothing, period. Like they always be saying a whole bunch of nothing. But it just was interesting how people will uphold BS in the name of what they believe in. And I don't know. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. I'm going to pray for real for these kids and hope that they are up out of that situation, because you're not going to make me think even people who are mentally ill don't want to be cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's people who that do, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to make me think that somebody can go into warmth, but they just refuse to get warmth and shelter, and they gonna be in the freezing cold with icicles coming from the house. Did y'all see the news report where there was icicles coming from the house? Now I'm from Cali, so we don't get that type of weather, but you got icicles and all of that. Boy, bye. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Betty, kiss my black. Y'all finish the rest. I'm not buying it. Okay. Now again, it could be true, but I'm not buying it. Okay, the police are buying it. That's all that matters. Y'all, people have called the police. The police have come out and tried to see what's going on, and they drove away, and they felt like they were convinced that the boys want to sleep outside. So that's all that matter at the end of the day. Like, you know, they bought it. I'm not. So with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think about this story. I will talk to y'all on the next one. Peace.